So Grim, you are starting us off, right? Just there's no confusion.
Yeah. Once there's a little gap, I'll start.
Right.
Good afternoon, my friends. We are here for the right half of the bracket. The other semifinalists are Will, Gary on Rakdos mid-range, and the Dogfish on White Taxes, both of whom have upset my predictions. But I will just be watching in silence as these two play it out. I am going to pass the analysis and the commentary over to a trio of our fine patrons. Here we have the finalist himself, Guy Catlin on Is It Prowess, joining the Fjord, and Maximized on commentary. Take it away, guys, and have fun.
Good afternoon, my friends. Fjord, you gonna give us a?
Do you want?
Oh no, I wanted to hear a good afternoon, my friends from you.
Let's do it. All right, on three. 1, 2, 3.
Good afternoon, my friends.
This is the Fjord, joined by
Guy Catlin
and Maximized, my fellow lingering souls, brother.
Amen.
We're here to hit you with the semifinal commentary of Rakdos mid-range, piloted by Will Gary, and the Dogfish on Mono White Taxes. So let's go ahead and take a look at those lists. So first up is Will Gary's Rakdos midrange. Any thoughts?
I mean, I think you're the one with the thoughts here, man. This is not my archetype. This is your whole deal, man. What do you think about this list? Is there anything you would change about it?
I like the list a
Like the
lot.
configuration?
Only thing I would change is some Magus of the Moon. I'm a fan of Magus.
Yeah, I've been playing that recently.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying I don't think I was behind the decision to go to Magus at the beginning, but it has looked really, really strong for you. What do you think about Magus or like Blood Moons going into this match?
I think it is the correct decision to have it in the sideboard for this matchup because I don't think a Moon effect is going to be good against a monocolored deck personally.
All right, makes sense. How do you think it's going to fare all the red-black based removal and grind against the taxes?
I think that this is definitely a very favorable matchup for Gary. Like he's got a lot of answers to deal with what Dogfish is trying to do.
All right, Maximized.
I agree with that sentiment, though there are a few things that I think might sort of work against Gary here. If he is unable to deal with a Thalia that the Dogfish puts down, it's definitely going to slow him down. And since he has a bit of a higher curve virtually than the Dogfish does, I could definitely see him struggling a little bit because of that. I also wish I could maybe see maybe one more K command in the sideboard to bring in, especially against Stoneforge and any equipment stuff that the Dogfish might go on. But I do think that he is slightly favored with all of his removal and some of his finishers that he's gotten in his 60.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I'm on a black base, I don't play the rock one. Or I don't play as Fjord calls it, crap dose. But I think we should change that name to just Rakdos now. This looks pretty good. But when I'm on black base mid range, I always feel pretty favored against taxes. It comes down to me a card quality problem where my individual cards outweigh their individual cards. But if we can switch over to the Dogfish's list real quick. I do think that this list has the potential to get right underneath of Rakdos Yellow Metal. I think the grind potential for Rakdos is a little bit more like you got the Lilies, the Season Pyromancers, but I think the Dogfish has two things going for him. Well, three if you count Mirror Crusader. But one, the ability to just get right under, like you said, like slowing down with a Thalia's Lieutenant, beaten down. And two, I have played against the Dogfish in leagues, and every time I watch him play, I'm always very impressed with the piloting. I think the Dogfish is pretty well versed with playing. I know him and Grim Flair have played it for years. I think he's pretty well versed in the black base attrition matchups. I'm pretty excited to see it. What do you guys think?
Definitely, I think Dogfish. I think his greatest strength is not his deck, but the pilot going into this because he is he's definitely impressed me every time I've ever seen him play. And I do want to point out too, he has all of his removal is exile based, and he has the Rest in Peace, which is definitely going to throw some wrenches in Kroxa and Unearth's game plan.
Yeah,
I agree. especially since that new card from Zendikar was not legal in this tournament to sort of help him with the enchantment hate. Guy is definitely weak to a resolved Rest in Peace. The main board Mirian Crusader may also be an issue, slightly for Gary. But I do agree on the skill of not only the Dogfish, but Gary recently trophied, I believe, in the last modern deck dump list, and I believe he's been playing the red-black archetype for quite a while. So we have two masters of their archetypes duking it out. So I think really anything could happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, like on one side, you do have, I think you do have two great pilots. I did see that 5-0, by the way, Gary. Pretty sweet. But on this side, like I think you have again a really skilled pilot, and I'm looking at two REX champions in the sideboard. I'm looking at the Mirren Crusaders, the Rest in Pieces, the Gideon. I think this deck also has some pretty serious grind potential if you can draw that part of the deck. Is there anything else you guys want to say about it?
I think we're ready to get in.
All right, cool. Let's get into the match.
Oh wow, these are very large cards.
Well, we can see those. All right, so we're watching the Dogfish's point of view.
Yeah, we're watching on the Tax's point of view here. This is a pretty good hand. The double Luris is really nice, so one can eat a removal spell. You can still get the grind potential with it.
For sure. I mean, I think
nice.
Yeah, I think against a deck like this, if you can go Giver of Runes, it's a pretty big take.
Giver of Runes into Thalia or Stoneforge seems really good here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would probably be interested in resolving the Thalia first and protecting it with the Giver.
I think so. Just because, I mean, exactly like you said, I think Thalia stands a great potential to just go with the board. And also,
second Thalia too. What a good draw.
Yeah, and like the biggest card that Thalia does not gum up is a Lightning Skelemental, and Thalia is really good at also handling that card.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So also another note to point out: no one said sup at the beginning of this match. So no communication.
Well, we can't all have as high quality gameplay.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I think
they're very focused on the gameplay here.
I think if the Dogfish can pretty much just keep on soaking up Gary's removal, he might be in a pretty good position.
For sure.
He's definitely drawing when he needs to draw.
Yeah,
I think he gets a third land. He's set.
We can see one more white source. I think that'd be pretty big. I kind of love the double Thalia, double Luris.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's really good. Like his best cards are in pair right now.
Oh yeah, I mean both of those are ones like you have to kill them the second they come down, otherwise they're really gonna kind of start to mess you up a little bit. The fact that he has double of them is pretty big game, I think.
Yeah, again, I didn't think about it, but like you said with Skelemental, that's one of Gary's best hitters, and that just getting shut down by Thalia is pretty huge.
For sure.
All right, so that's 2 bolts in the bin.
Yeah, more of those coming. Oh,
there's the land.
It's just kind of all happening here.
Yeah, everything's just lining up perfectly. I also like the concept of like over the next 2 turns, Stoneforging and then Flicker Wisping the Stoneforge. That seems pretty hot.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that coming into play.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think another Thalia seemed pretty good, but I don't know.
But I like Thaliaing here, but like next turn Stoneforge and then the turn after Flicker Wisp it. So you can search up Batterskull and Sword. I think he's on Sword of Fire and Ice.
Let me check the list.
He's on Fire and Ice, Light and Shadow, and Batterskull. Oof, Light and Shadow seems real good here. Buying back some Thalias.
You should just play Sword of Fire and Famine. Stomp.
That would be a heck of a sword. Deals 2 damage, draws a card, makes them discard a card, and untaps all your lands.
So there's an interesting spot. What would you do here if you were? Because you're more of a Stone Mystic player than I am, I think. Would you go for Luris and just hope to untap with it, or you slam a Stoneforge and get value?
He has 2 cards in hand, so I would probably go. We have a second Luris, so I would probably Luris and Giver. Like Luris buyback Giver.
Well, you can't do that
Just
because
because.
he only has 2 white mana.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind. Yeah, in the case we have 2 white mana, I would Stoneforge.
Okay.
And I would definitely buy back. I would pick Light and Shadow here personally. We're not short on threats at all, and like we have so much in the yard to buy back with it. That's
Yeah,
just gonna be so good.
as much as I hate on you for playing that card, I think you're probably right.
It's the greatest sword. Well, if you ignore Fire and Ice and possibly Feast and Famine.
Ooh, you just get the big boy. All right.
All right. We are 1 land away. If we were a turn 2, I would definitely be hating on his decision. But we're only 1 land off from being able to hard cast it once Gary pushes or bolts the Stoneforge.
So it's acceptable for now. This is the situation.
Yes, this is the acceptable situation for the fetching up for batter spell.
Okay. We got 2 unknowns and a Bone Crusher Giant waiting in exile.
There's another
Well,
Stoneforge.
Exact same spot as last turn.
I would probably just run it. I'd do the same thing. Just run out Stoneforge. Keep Silent Clearing untapped to draw a card if you want to. And fetch up Light and Shadow. Looks like he's tanking over it though. Looks like he is seriously considering a Luris.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's a tough spot. I don't think I definitely don't play the deck enough to have a strong opinion one way or the other.
If we draw a white land too, if we had drawn a white land there, or if we draw another white land next turn, oof, I do think he's getting. I do think that Light and Shadow is definitely the correct grab here, just because the gas we have in the yard to buy back.
oh, looks like he decided to go for Fire and Ice.
He's probably trying to race him now. He's probably trying to get across as much damage as he can.
Ooh, the Shotgun Blood Crypt. It's kind of scary.
Inquisitioning, so he's gonna hit the sword. Maybe it was a good thing we grabbed Fire and Ice.
Maybe the Dogfish knows something we don't.
He was expertly playing around Sword of Fire and Ice. He just wants to flicker with the Stoneforge. Like, I'll let him take this one, and then I'll grab the good one. No, I do think Sword of Fire and Ice was a pretty good take. I think either one was.
Oh, I think it was a clear take of just whatever equipment there.
And he still can play Batter Skull out. So. But
Right. Yeah, that's also
2 Lilianas on the other side of the board is a bit scary.
He's gonna be able to. He's gonna be able to flash it out though now, because Gary doesn't have any removal left.
Yep.
That's true. It'd be great to see a land off the top that produces white or black.
Charming Prince. So I think he goes Prince here and holds up the flash with Stoneforge.
probably Scry, right?
Yeah. You don't need the life total. Ooh. Yeah. I think what he should have done? I think he missed it. He could have flashed in Batter Skull right now, played Charming Prince, bounced the Stoneforge, flashed the Stoneforge, bounced the Stoneforge to then fetch up Light and Shadow.
Oh man,
That would have
that
been a
would
good play.
That would have been sick.
Yeah, that would have been a really good line there.
But
Gary's completely out of cards. He just has the Bone Crusher. It does have the 2 Planeswalkers, but Dogfish is definitely in a position to be able to deal with that.
All right, what do we find? Oh, sure, yeah.
Comes our boy.
I think
It would be really bad if Gary just found like a K command or something.
Well, he doesn't have any in his main board, I don't believe.
Ooh. Oh no, that doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Stoneforge. Wait.
Oh, he has 1 in his main board.
I think
So why did he not flash in Batter Skull there?
he just clicked through it on accident.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. That's rough.
Oh,
that's
That's
pretty game
brutal.
turning.
I do think that may have just turned the game around.
Yeah,
then.
that's pretty
I do think though that if he can get a white source here next turn, he's still gonna be in pretty decent shape. For the simple fact that he can play Lurrus, buy back. No, never mind. Because then Lily uptick.
Just being a moron. Guess that'll do it too. Man, yeah, that was pretty big.
Yeah, if your opponent forgets to flash in Batter Skull, and
well, we know drawing a white source.
Well,
so
there we go.
So with the Liliana there, I think the play would be Lurrus into Thalia. Would be probably my buyback here.
I concur.
Got that.
And then he's going to need to start figuring out a way to pressure this Last Hope, because that card is definitely going to run away with the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too far away from ulting.
Yeah, and we know we have a Leon Arbiter coming off the top too. We can buy back. Well, yeah, I don't think it's Stoneforge this turn. It's probably Stoneforge next turn. We can just play the equipment.
Yeah, it's not Stoneforge now, just because equipment will get lost. I could see grabbing Giver. I like Thalia more just because it stops a top deck Skelemental.
Yeah.
But I could see
Does also
Giver
die
just
to
to
Lily.
Ghost Quarter. Actually, you're right. Thalia does just die to Last Hope, so there's no real point.
Oh yeah.
I kind of like that play. Just to sort of keep him from getting another look in case he does draw dead. But I do still think that Gary's kind of like very heavily favored, so
yeah, Gary's definitely on the front foot. And then him pulling a Dreadbore there and answering the Lurrus is also really huge.
Yeah, I was about to say Giver can also start giving pro red on our turn. Or on Dogfish's turn if he wants to just pressure that Liliana. Yeah, man, this would be such a different game if we could
Batter Skull flash in.
Yeah, equipped on that Charming Prince or something.
That, or even if he had bounced the Stoneforge with Charming Prince, blinked. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. Blinked the Stoneforge, and we had a Sword of Light and Shadow in play right now. Because then it's like he kills Lurrus, we can just buy him back next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Leon and Arbiter, I think, is kind of past his point of being effective here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. Not Cat Jesus.
yeah, it looks like the Dogfish is just trying to build his board.
Yeah, he needs
The
to get
tech
wide
doesn't
to
really
start
matter
pressuring this
anymore
thing.
for the Arbiter, but if he does not deal with the Liliana Last Hope, he
yeah, I mean,
lights out.
Endless Storm or 2/2 zombies. It's not that easy to beat that. Maybe if we had a Sword of Fire and Famine, but
some might call it the mid ranges, the BGXs, or in this case, RBXs, Field of the Dead.
Except I don't lose my mind when my opponent plays a Liliana.
I know.
I don't start just screaming and hitting things. I don't call my therapist afterwards.
See what has Gary got here? Other land.
Okay. No, even with the draw of just a land, I think these planeswalkers would be kind of tough to deal with.
Yeah. I'm thinking if there was any. Was there an argument to downtick with Liliana the Veil there? Just to hit.
Start
you downtick. Gary probably sacks Stoneforge at this point, right? Then you uptick Liliana on Charming Prince or Arbiter, just so that there's only and then Dogfish has shown he doesn't want to. Well, he shows that he wants to just give something pro with Giver. So, probably not.
Man, this is the wrong half of the deck problem.
Yeah, Aether
Or at
Vial.
least at this point in the game.
I was gonna say I believe Aether Vial is about 9 turns too late here.
He's probably just gonna pressure the Lily.
Yeah, he needs to, and then was Gary gonna flash back a Cling?
It's like it sticking for removal.
But even if Dogfish is able to keep Gary off of the Last Hope ult for a couple turns, the Veil's ult can just cut off so much of his pressure that Last Hope will be able to ult.
Yeah, it does feel like we're just kind of spinning our wheels here against things that are outdoing what we're doing.
Yeah, he's got a little bit too much to manage right now.
Yeah, Liliana Tribals definitely doing him in right now. From a strong starting point that Dogfish had at the beginning. Like, he had a hell of a hand at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, he did. Really did. I mean, there was. I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but there's a specific point where it started to go downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, missing that third white source really hurt him because he wasn't really able to utilize Luris before Gary was able to build up his resources. And I think
he's just pulling lands. It's just, yeah, he's not doing good. Gary's exactly where he wants to be.
Yeah, I think if I was Gary, I would maybe start trying to push in with the Bone Crusher.
I don't really think there's a point to, right? Like, right now, just sit on your Planeswalkers, try and make them deal with them.
Yeah,
you're definitely favored in the long game.
I also think there's merit to making Dogfish use Giver on his turn. So that way you don't have a Giver up that can just give protection and instant speed.
Yeah.
It looks like Dogfish has decided to prioritize of the Veil right now. But he's just kind of stuck right now where he's going to have to keep just basically switching back and forth on which one of these Planeswalkers he's trying to deal with to prevent them to ult. So I don't really know what he needs to find, but he does have an opportunity maybe to kill Liliana of the Veil here. But we'll have to see.
Yeah.
If Gary doesn't find removal, he can take out Lily the Veil here. He's not going to be able to take out Nevermind.
It's kind of rough.
So now he sacks it. Yeah, that's probably game because now he's not going to be able to get in for he can get in for 2 one turn if he sacks Giver.
Well, the yeah, because now Last Hope just uptakes on yeah,
it just upticks on Arbiter, and then he's not going to be able to do any damage anymore.
Yeah.
Attacking there seems weird. I would probably not have. Just try to get the Last Hope up to ult. Because now you're leaving it open for Giver to attack it down. To just keep it at 6.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of like it. Yeah, you're right. But also, if our game plan is to attack Liliana Last Hope one damage each turn, I think we're gonna win that game. Or Gary will win that game.
Oh, Aether Vial, not what Dogfish wanted to see.
Yeah, lots of air off the tap.
And he's just choosing to take down the Veil here.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Lily's not ulting this turn. Rather, Last Hope's not ulting this turn.
Yeah.
Seriously, this game would be so different.
Yeah, very, very. With what Gary has drawn, this would have been a very hard fight for him.
Yeah, I do think it is important to we all punt. I think it's important that after you punt to figure out, okay, how do I win the game from this current position?
Yeah. I believe the answer here would have been not to draw Aether Vials.
Yeah, I mean, Dogfish definitely putting up a fight with what he's got, but I mean,
he's
my goodness, the lands off the top, the 2 vials, yeah.
Would you side them out in game 2?
The only vial deck I play is Goblins, and Goblins Vial's the best card in your deck.
So if he pulls a Path or something like that here, he can keep the Last Hope from ulting, and he can start working his way back in. But he needs to find some way to deal with a Bone Crusher right now. Mirran Crusader. Unfortunately,
I mean that trades
does
with
not
the
do it.
trades with Bone Crusher.
It trades with it, but it isn't going to connect with the Last Hope to prevent it from ulting next turn.
Interesting.
I mean, if our 2 next draws are, well, I guess we need to land 2. I was thinking like some combination of removal spell
doesn't
for
even
Bone
play
Crusher,
it.
or
that is interesting.
It is interesting. Oh no, he has a vial.
That makes sense.
But if our next few draws are some combination of Sword of Light and Shadow to give protection from the zombies, Gary misses for a turn, and we can deal with a Bone Crusher. Like we could get, we could outrace the zombie. But
if our next 2 to 3 draws include a Path to Exile plus Stoneforge or Light and Shadow, I think it puts us in a much better spot. But we need those to be in the next like 3 cards, basically.
So we're gonna get the 3rd vial, I promise you.
Next 2 draws are just gonna be double vial.
All right, let's see a removal spell.
So Last Hope Emblem starting to go to work. Wonder what Gary's holding in hand though. Would have been able to cast anything he grabs, so it's probably just holding up a land.
Oh,
there's the 3rd vial.
I shouldn't have said it. It's my fault. When you watch this later, Dogfish, I take full responsibility for what just happened.
So it looks like he's offering the trade of Crusader with Bone Crusher.
Yeah, I don't know how much I like that. I think the way here is, I think the only way we win this game is by getting through the zombies with the Mirran Crusader.
Yeah, like a Mirran Crusader with
we're dumb.
Yeah,
I don't play.
good.
Yeah, we don't play taxes.
no, but I think
yes.
then a bolt in response. That's unfortunate.
All right, yeah.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, it's probably gonna be game for that.
It.
Gary powered through that. Like, that was impressive. The double Liliana going there was really impressive. And obviously there were a couple of mistakes on one side of the board, but for what happened, he definitely put up as good of a fight as he could, and that was good.
Yeah.
So sideboarding here. So
our next champion seems okay.
I definitely like Mirran Crusader, Gideon, and Double Aryak. I think those. I think the top 3 at least are definites. I think Barrington Forge Tender is okay.
So you guys are the like the black red players, black red white. What do you think about bringing in Rest in Peace against Rakdos?
I think against Gary's build that pulls so much from the graveyard, with like the unearthed package and everything, I definitely think it can slow him down. Also prevents any sort of like Croxa unearthing, which we haven't seen any Croxas yet, but I do believe.
Yeah, he has 3.
He has 3 Croxas. And with red black, they don't really have a way to deal with enchantments. So once it's there, it's there, and that could definitely affect Gary's game plan, depending on what kind of hands.
I 100% believe Rest in Peace is good here because like Gary's on a lot of graveyard dependent cards like Lightning Skelemental plus is not very good without Unearth, and same with Croxa. So it's like he's on a lot of graveyard heavy dependent game plan here.
Yeah, I do like the Forge Tender because there is maybe a situation where the Forge Tender can be sacked in response to a Skelemental coming in and connecting, because I believe that would prevent the Dogfish from having to discard anything.
I also have to say I like Gary's. I like Barrington versus Gary actually a lot more looking at his list because he only has 2 Fatal Push. So he does not have that much non-red removal. But furthermore, looking at Gary's list, sideboard wise, he's got a lot he can bring in. He's got that I like. He's got a Dreadbore. He has triple brutality, a K command. At least those seem great. Especially the brutality seems amazing in this matchup. And he's got a double plague man that seems pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he's got a lot to do post side. He can definitely hedge away from the graveyard too with those cards, especially Plague Man.
That's certainly what I would do if I was in his position.
Yeah. So Dogfish's hand seems pretty good. You like to see the Sarah Avenger. Probably
I do
his
think it's a cool card.
yeah, it's it. I love the card, and it's probably outside of the Stoneforge package, probably like his best clock.
Oh, I think no turn one removal there is really big.
That was a great draw.
I kind of like Arbitering here, just to try and shut down fetch lands. So let's see if Gary. So Gary needs some sort of a removal spell to deal with. Oh, he plays Thalia instead. All right.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
You can protect Thalia with the Giver now.
Right.
I think
I do think that. So he plays a spell bomb.
Interesting.
That I guess yeah. So Dogfish is on Luris, so it does make sense. I kind of overlooked that. Looking at the I was just thinking more of a stock taxes list. Dogfish being on Luris, I think makes, I believe he has 2 spell bomb, makes the 2 spell bomb a lot more reasonable.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I'm not in the contention anymore. So maybe my opinion's a little bit moot, but I think with like Luris, you just kind of want to focus on killing it. Like, it just seems like maybe trying to bring in Spellbomb just to sort of like turn off Luris might not be the greatest thing. But he might also be really just interested in grinding through his deck a little bit more to try and like match up his answers to the Dogfish's board. So I can kind of see it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense
that way too.
Not the greatest. Like, it's not something I think is a slam dunk, but I can definitely see why someone. So I think he should grab. All right, I was gonna say I think he should grab a Fire and Ice here, especially considering his threat suite right now. Definitely be able to put the pressure on Gary if he had done that, just for just sheer clock. And if he had gone another land, he could have played it, equipped it to Thalia, started connecting for 6 damage a turn. Like that would have been huge.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Just because like Gary's probably not going to be killing any of our creatures anytime soon.
Yeah.
Which means the way he's going to answer an equipment is K command.
Yeah.
I think if like our creatures are pretty much guaranteed to connect, I think sort of Fire and Ice may have been better. But again, I'm not a.
I think it's a legit option. Like to see the Light and Shadow.
That's a pretty good draw.
It's a great sword in the matchup.
Yeah. I will say, for my own
Especially
selfish
considering
reasons,
Gary cycled that spell bomb for no value. Like he just cycled it immediately, not hitting anything in our not hitting anything in Dogfish's yard. Definitely to me says that he's either digging for land or he's really struggling for answers.
Right. Well, he did miss a land drop last turn.
It's probably both. Probably both.
I definitely think I maybe would have slammed the Arbiter at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
I do understand him trying to hold up the Batterskull flashing though.
It's true.
That's completely legit.
I guess he's ahead enough that it doesn't really matter. And now,
I think the game is looking pretty over. I think
the
if the Dogfish can draw, I think the Dogfish can draw a land right here and just put in Equip Light and Shadow to the Batterskull, the game ends.
I actually don't. If he draws, he drew Sarah. I was gonna say if he draws 2 more lands and gets a Sarah Avenger equipped with a Batterskull, like that doesn't seem like something Gary's gonna be able to really beat.
Yeah, K Commander bust.
Yeah, really. Well, especially, but he has got the double Giver of Runes up right now, which is just so brutal to try and fight through.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. Unfortunately, I've been in Gary's position so many times where the land just ends up punishing you.
I will say, sorry, go ahead.
Well, right now too, he doesn't just need to find another land. He needs to make sure he finds another red source because a lot of his cards are just turned off. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a couple of like 2-pip red spells right now, like a Skelemental or a Season Pyro. And so he's just kind of like stuck because of his mana base.
Yeah.
I would say he does have 7 3 mana, like 2 red cards in his main board at least. This seems not good.
We're just gonna give it protection, right?
Yeah, this seems incredibly not good.
Oh.
Let it go. I don't know what other. I mean, for 1 mana, there's no other spell that could have
Yeah,
mattered.
well, you have the Thalia down, so he couldn't cast anything else anyway. So I don't think there was any point like not to.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I wonder if you just.
I wonder if he accidentally clicked through that, like the batter skull.
Dogfish wouldn't accidentally click through something. Come on. So for my own selfish reasons, I hope Dogfish grabs it because I think I have a much better taxes matchup than I do a red black mono removal spells.
Yeah, one of these seems okay for you. The other one seems like a massive uphill fight.
I mean, so is Maximize deck and Laris Rock. I can only get lucky so many times, right? I can only top deck a Bedlam Rattler so many games.
So he's just playing out the second giver again. Yeah, it seems like I don't know what Gary could pull to stay
Yeah.
at this point. Like, oh my god, he's
Dogfish is just so wide now.
Yeah,
Takes it.
so he could have always cheated and brought in a couple damnations. That is always an option.
Could always cheat. Again,
going to...
Now he can't do it. He can give something else protection now, but he can't save the giver this time.
Maybe Pro Black would have been a better move. I don't know if it even matters.
I think he just wanted to wall off the attack. Like
Yeah,
Gary can't cast a spell that turn.
With Thalia down, there's no spell Gary can cast for 1 mana in his entire deck now.
That's true.
It was just he wanted to have a blocker for the attack.
Mm-hmm.
Have we had a single game that didn't go all 3? Or match, rather?
I believe guys round 1 did. Sorry, Geese.
Oh, yeah.
Fun Titan.
Oh, yeah, okay, it was.
There's the concession. I was going to say, if he doesn't concede here, I like playing Light Shadow post that.
Yeah.
And then with the idea of next turn equipping it to Sarah Avenger, so that way if he pulled AK command, he would have to like really think about what he wants to kill. It wouldn't just be a clear option to Batter Skull.
Yeah.
And Dogfish beat John at a 2-0. Mirabito has just told me.
Okay.
So, post game 2 sideboarding, Dogfish is on the draw. What do you think changes here? What do you guys think changes here, and what do you guys think changes in Gary's deck?
Well, I don't really feel like we saw much sideboard cards from either of them in that. I guess we saw the Spell Bomb. I think I would probably wean away from the other Spell Bombs. I assume he brought in the Dreadbores, and he also brought in his Brutalities. So I don't know. If he didn't bring in the Plague Engineers, maybe there's a consideration for that. Just to name humans or even core.
I do kind of like it just to keep a just to have like an above ground threat, like a not graveyard dependent threat.
Yeah,
I do think that from his position, it's very likely Rest in Peace is in. So Dogfish kept an interesting hand, pretty land heavy, and that planes off the top not helping.
Yeah.
Also, I want to shout out the basic artwork here for planes. Mr. Fish is using quite amazing. I'm a fan.
This is a good one.
I definitely love it.
I say my favorite is still the that invasion planes with the wheat and the sun off in the distance. But very similar. I like this one a lot too.
But this one's great.
Yeah, I felt like the thing I was most nervous about this tournament was picking my basic land so I wouldn't be shunned during commentary.
I bought I picked up a bunch of the Kamigawa ones right before I played you.
Oh, nice, dude. Yeah,
land
I
off
love
the
the
top.
Kamigawa lands. They're super great.
Land off the top. We gotta start drawing some grindy cards, I think.
So Gary fatal pushed the Barrington, which is the exact reason why I am hesitant about that card in these matchups, because 50% of the interaction is black, so
Yeah.
it doesn't do much.
I mean, for a deck with a lot of red, though, I mean, Skelemental won. Like, Maximize made the point. It's kind of a slam dunk against Skelemental. And second, with Luris, if you can just keep looping Burntons, there's a lot of rollouts where Rakdos just can't handle it.
Well, I was gonna say the thing is too, I like it a lot more versus Gary's list. Like I said, he only has the 2 push.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them, like the ones I play have like 4 push and like Blood Chief's Thirst now, stuff like that. So it's like it would be a lot worse there. So the Liliana of the Veil is pretty good. Flicker Wisping, I guess you Flicker Wisp, bounce a land so you're holding up Path. That's probably the best play.
That's probably the move
right now, but this one's looking real bad for him right now.
Yeah.
He's drawing
all the lands off the top.
Yeah.
I think the hand was definitely a keep. I don't think you'd want to mulligan that. It's not great, but I don't think you want to mull it. But the lands off the top have not helped it.
Gary asking him to flicker Lily instead.
Oh no.
Gotta play those Fjord outs. We were talking about the basic stuff earlier. This morning my rental service gave me Modern Masters lava darts. I went out and bought 4 Judgment lava darts just so Grim would make fun of me.
Oh yeah.
I don't want Grimflayer to bully me.
So first, the uptick off of Lily, Dogfish is very well insulated against that. Secondly, I did actually point out your lava dart selection during the commentary.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Lightning Skill.
All right. Okay.
Good thing we got the Dogfish has the path. Gonna keep that away.
Take that hit.
Do you even do that though?
Pat or
Yeah,
so.
like honestly, like maybe just ditch the lands. I don't.
I think there are draws that make it so that us having lands in hand is okay.
I think it's also a good argument to path it just to get it in exile, because Gary does have 3 copies of Unearth, so that way
That's a good point.
That way Gary
can't
unearth it this turn, swing in type deal.
Yeah, though.
That'd be bad if he was able to, like, if we took it and then next, let's say he has like his last 2 cards are double Unearth, which are things that I've had happen before. That'd be such a blowout for Dogfish.
Yeah, but all things equal, the Thalia would have kept him pretty protected, I think.
So Dogfish chose to hold up Silent Clearing here. I think another line I would have thought about was crack Field of Ruin to hit the Sunbay Canyon while they were tapped out and they couldn't crack it, and then play Thalia.
Oh yeah, I like that as well.
I also don't think cracking it on Castle would be bad here to shut down the consistent card draw with that.
Yeah.
Comes the guy.
Hits a Spyro. He had 2 cards
good card
when he cast it. Yeah, he has 2 in hand, so he's dumping.
Oh,
Elemental Unearth. Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know if. Oh no, because Thalia just walls off Skelemental. That makes sense.
And he did keep the spell bombs in. Kind of an interesting call again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's looking a lot better though this game than he was last game.
Oh, that's actually pretty good for
this quarter.
So yeah, I do think I like kind of just Field of Ruin the You have enough mana? No, he doesn't have enough mana to do both Field of Ruin, Ghost Quarter, and Charming Prince. He's 1 short.
So what, 2 for field. So you field the castle. I mean, you field the whatever, the canopy land.
Yeah, one of the 2.
Yeah, you'd be 1 short.
So I mean, there are draws here that
This is still very
Field of Ruin.
I think that this is so with that, do you want to? So I think this is a question because he can flicker the Flicker Wisp and kill one of the elemental tokens.
I think I would like to scry here looking for a sword, because like if we can just draw, like if we can draw Sword Equip to Flicker Wisp before they can answer the Wisp,
Yeah, and that's pretty
that's
much
going to be a huge turning point.
especially Fire and Ice right now. That'd be huge.
Yeah.
Arbiter, not really. Neither of these are really good draws right now.
Yeah, I think we're bottoming both of these probably.
Yeah, I guess there's a.
Topping that, okay.
Okay.
I guess maybe he's gonna start going to town with the destroying their mana base. I think that's probably his plan.
Yeah.
I could see. I was gonna say I could also see him just wanting to top threats at this point. Like,
I still think
some threats.
I still think I would have wanted to. I rather would have wanted to flicker the wisp, kill a token, and then take them off of some of their card draw.
Yeah.
Just because, like, it seems like the best way for Gary to get back into this game is to just draw more cards than the Dogfish.
Yeah, that and yeah, and like he has 3 mana. He has 2 red and 3 black. Even if we hit the Arbiter and destroy those 2, so I don't know how how important it is to stop him from searching up the basics.
Yeah, perhaps. I did sort of. I think that maybe Gary, based on some of the comments he made in the chat, I think maybe he might have missed that he could fetch with an Arbiter on before. So I mean, it's possible, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've definitely done that. Where like I definitely have the mana to search, and I'm just like, oh, can't search Leland and Arbiter. Same thing with Stubborn Denial. Like they'll not have a threat out, and I'll be like, oh, can't cast any spells.
Yeah, Arbiter is kind of weird too, of the way you have to pay for it compared, you know, because it doesn't use the stack. So
Right. Yeah. Like click on the card. Everyone's lost a card Luminar at least once.
Right.
I've
lost Liliana to the soft stubby Ds. When it's like I could pay for it, and I just go, oh, he stubbed it, okay. Oh, like.
Well, there's that confidence in paper. You're just like Stubborn Denial your thing.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Then you're like, ah, okay, yeah, you got it. All right, so I still think like if
So here he could do
the question is, so I think our best draw is a sword.
Yeah, I think
is he gonna knock himself off of
Canyon here?
Okay, about to say, is he gonna knock himself off of the 5 mana for it? Looks like he is.
Yeah.
Which I think is reasonable. I'm not sure.
I don't even know if you mess with the castle.
Skelemental.
Oh boy.
Not that bad right now. Like we don't have a hand.
Oh, yeah, I guess it isn't that bad. I'm just used to seeing Skelemental and being like, oh shoot.
Is one of the other things I think is mediocre about it, where it's just like it's now just it's 6 damage, but
yeah, I think I take 6 there though.
Lightning Bolt plus Lightning Strike in 1 card.
Yeah. Flicker Wisp. Not so good.
That is a clock. That is a clock.
Yeah, no, I think that would put him on lethal next turn, correct?
Yes,
so let's see. He's taken.
It's one. So yeah, I think he goes Ghost Quarter Castle just to stop an additional draw, and though he could search, but it stops the extra card draw just to find another answer or something.
Yeah, I think I like that line.
And then
I mean, he has the Bone Crusher and the like waiting.
And he could even Flicker Wisp, targeting the other Wisp or the Arbiter, so that it comes back untapped. Just to have.
I think that's a great idea, actually.
No, don't not that one.
Yeah. No, I like this. I don't even know if you go for the castle, because if they draw a card with that, that's gonna put them even closer to death.
What is this accomplishment? Oh, he's making it so. Ooh, that's tricky. He's making it so he can't kill it.
He can't take out the Flicker Wisp. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I like it.
He's also, but that Flicker Wisp coming back on
Oh, I don't know if he did it right.
Flicker out the Seasoned Pyromancer, which means he's going to be blinked out on Dogfish's next turn, which is going to leave the board open for Arbiter to connect for lethal.
It looks like Gary did not quite.
Oh shoot!
Correctly.
You're right. Well, we also have this. We also have this Bone Crusher Giant.
Yeah, so he has to cast Bone Crusher, so he can blink out one of those two. So he probably blinks out Bone Crusher then, and swings in. Has to trade the Spyro with Arbiter, so he's going to be down to 1 life.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I
he
mean, there's
swings
all.
in with
Oh, he
Spyro.
swings in.
That's it.
Oh, so he's
Okay.
just dead.
no.
He's just dead.
Yeah, he just missed it.
Oh no.
Dang. All right.
You got to hit that the end step flicker wisp mind games.
All right. Well, those were two
That was some wild.
very impressive post board games.
Oh yeah.
So is it me or is the final of the mid-range BGX white black X red black X like super smackdown showdown coming down to a mono white and an is it aggro deck?
I don't know. I mean, I think that like there's a case
Living
that
like reality here.
I think there's a case that you can really sort of think of mono white taxes as like a very like mono white jund. So you know,
Yeah, for sure. Well, those were
Jund flashing
very
white,
impressive.
cutting red, black, and green.
yeah,
Something like that.
it's a very grindy deck. And
Those were really good games. Game
Those
2
were
was
great
kind of a blowout, but Game 3 was really close down to the end of it, and those flicker wisps came across at the very end.
I
Blinking
gotta
out.
say, these upsets have been something else. Like
Yeah.
I think I've been wrong about every single match so far. Like I thought Nastier was gonna beat Gary. I thought Dogfish was gonna lose hard to the 8-rack. Once this match came up, I thought Gary was gonna win. I thought I was gonna lose to Lurch. Like I just every prediction I had has just been stone wrong.
There's exactly one that I was correct on, and that was my loss to Maximized. Everything else, because I remember in the Swiss rounds, like I got so lucky. So it's like I was just like, it's the only thing I know. everything else is kind of gone backwards to what I thought it would be.
Mr. Grimm, do you have words?
I'm struggling for them. I can't believe that just happened. That was
Right?
insane. Well commentated, guys, and the upsets keep on coming. What are we gonna do about these upsets? There is no upset left in the final because neither of you should be there by anyone's predictions. But
hey,
you
man,
are.
I have feelings too.
Yeah, exactly. But you are, and I'm trying to suppress the thought that this is like an indictment of mid-range, that like mid-range is just bad and you need to do something more proactive. But nope, it's not the truth. It's not the truth. You can't
like
convince
the whole
me.
half of the deck because the match where I drew removal wasn't like, I was in pretty much control. Then game 3, if I draw any removal.
Yeah, you were flooded in game 1, even though you won, and in game 3, and then screwed in game 2. Like there was not a appropriate spells to lands balance in any of the 3 games that I saw.
Like 1 was fine because the spells I kept drawing were removal, so I was able to just keep killing shit. But in game 3, I don't think I drew a single removal. Well, I did on turn 1.
I think Bone Crusher.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt really quick. Grim, can you do a quick pause and then like an ending to the video so I can stop recording, and then you can edit out like this little spot right here? Is that okay?
Yeah, I honestly think we pretty much
we're good.
ended it.
Okay,
right?
I'll just hit stop recording.
Yeah, that's